Hello and welcome back. In the same spirit as assessing your technology, it is important to assess your course plan, especially if you have to change the course modality from live to online while you're teaching the course. How much of your course content and activities can you reuse? Do you have to start teaching right away and plan as you go, or do you have a few days to do some planning? Do you use a textbook? Do all your students have a textbook? Does your chair or director need to vet your syllabus before you suggest a new assessment? Planning your course for new teaching and learning modality means rethinking your course. Some elements of your course you will be able to keep, but others would require significant change, and everything will need readjustment so that you keep alignment between your learning activities and student assessment. So, take a deep breath. Prepare some blank paper and pencils, or open a fresh text document, table, or a spreadsheet. You have taught the course before and you are an experienced teacher. So we know that you do have many options and teaching tools in your back pocket. Now is the time to be creative and dust off those tools. It won't take too long, but it will take a lot of humility and some creativity. But teaching always does. Allocate good 3 hours for that. Ask your housemates for some quiet time. It is good to send a message to the students to say that you are working on the course plan and that they can expect more information from you very soon. We will talk about this more in the communication with your students section. Make sure you watch it before you begin your planning. Be realistic. You are constrained with time, with resources, and a challenging situation. When Professor Trepanier and I designed her first fully online course back in 2012, we were blessed with the luxury of 6 months we could dedicate to migration from a live to an online format. We could analyze everything in detail and brainstorm for months. This is a different situation. You have to make changes on the go, but you can do it. So let's begin. There will be 3 main aspects of your course to consider: content delivery, learning activities, and communication. We will talk more about activities and communication in later videos. You need all 3 to run your course and create a meaningful assessment aligned with your course and program expectations. Normally, you would do all the planning first, and in particular planning assessment. But if your students are waiting to start working on the course, and you already have good tested course content students have access to, provide that first content to students to work on while you plan ahead. Is there something they can read? Video to watch? Project to start working on? Reach out to your students and give them something to do. It will buy you a day or two for planning. If your students don't have access to content you plan to use in a live class, can you find an existing online resource that you could replace? Internet is rich with content, and you are an expert who can find good quality resources. Maybe you will look for an online documentary, a recorded lecture by a wonderful professor, a TED Talk, a Khan Academy video. Don't worry if you are reusing the existing material you found online, but check for copyright rules first. Your students very much need you to help them make sense of the material and to feel motivated to learn. If this wasn't true, we wouldn't need schools and universities at all. If you can't find all the content that you need to teach your course, you might have to create it. It can be a text document, a web page, PowerPoint slides. Maybe you have a tool that would enable you to record voice over your computer screen while talking over slides, such as Camtasia. We are currently using a similar tool. Can you record a hands-on experiment using a GoPro camera to demonstrate what students would see if they did the experiment in class? Don't aim for perfection as we are not while recording these homemade videos. If your course rely a lot on content such as reading and videos, introduce content to students with a few sentences and summarize it after. It will motivate students to reflect on how they understood the material and maybe revisit it if necessary. Most importantly, try to stay consistent with your weekly course plan. Estimate how much time students would need to accomplish weekly activities and try to evenly distribute weekly workload both for you and your students. Keep your weekly course activities plan consistent and communicate clearly your expectations with your students. Managing time and remaining motivated will be one of the biggest challenges your students will experience, and they will need your help. We will talk about communication strategies later. In summary, at this planning stage, you need to be creative. Your course will be different, but it doesn't have to be less interesting or engaging. Plan your weekly activities and deadlines and clearly communicate expectations with your students.